When your old career gives you lemons, throw in some ice, mix in some vodka, and call it a podcast. From the Mac of All Trades studio in Fairport and driven by Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, it's Billified, the Bill Moran Podcast.
Thank you for getting your pod on. Thanks for telling your friends and your coworkers, your enemies, all about the podcast. We'll take it all. Right, Danny? We'll take it all.
You're going to hate this. You got to listen to the whole thing, though. Yeah. Your enemies. If you tell your enemies,
yeah.
Wait for it.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
I hate those videos. Wait for it. 4 minutes later. Okay, I'm still waiting.
We'll be doing lots of fun things in the next week or so.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
You got a big holiday, a couple big holidays coming up.
Yeah, Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
Yes.
President's Day. Send a Valentine to your favorite president.
Yep. President's Day.
But read about presidents lately.
Okay. And what have you learned?
Quite a bit.
Okay. About what president?
Here's my favorite tidbit from this book. Bill O'Reilly called Confronting the Presidents. There's a lot of mistakes in this book, and if I know the mistakes, then O'Reilly must have just wrote it together in like 15 minutes. But I'm not a Bill O'Reilly guy, but I saw the book, and it was cheap at BJ, so I grabbed it.
Okay.
I can learn about our presidents.
Okay.
Andrew Jackson had a parrot. Mm-hmm. And apparently Andrew Jackson, we know that he was kind of racist and swore a lot. Yeah. And this parrot would
he was a frontiersman.
Yes, he was. He was a self-made guy.
They literally had at his inauguration, they were swinging from the chandeliers, no lie, and pissing on the walls.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It was, yes.
Yeah.
And so at his funeral, they had to escort the parrot out of the funeral because the parrot kept swearing and just repeating stuff that Jackson would say in the White House about everyone and everything. But
fuck you.
My thought was, who brings a parrot to a funeral?
I don't know.
The presidential parrot, the first parrot, had to be barred from the funeral as the president lie in state because he kept swearing. That was, to me, the most fascinating thing. The other thing I kind of got was President Nixon was kind of misunderstood.
Oh, he was brilliant.
He really
President
was.
Nixon was a brilliant man. I'm not saying that he cheated. He cheated. He did a disservice.
Well, they can't prove that he knew, but the cover-up's always worse than...
fucking knew.
But the cover-up's always worse.
But he was a brilliant man. He was like Mensa.
He was VP for like 8 years.
Yeah.
Then ran against Kennedy, barely lost.
Well, yeah.
Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Then the mayor of Chicago gets invited to, he's the second guy invited to the Oval after Jackie when JFK takes the oath of office.
Yeah, well.
I wonder how that happened. Then he runs again. He wins in 68.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden we know what happened after. And then Ford, because he pardoned him, he loses to Carter by the slimmest of margins.
Right.
Then the country goes into a tailspin, and here comes Roddy.
Yep, and Ronnie pulled it out.
Roddy saves the day.
Danny, that kind of history, I always think, like, if you could learn that kind of history as, what's my experience, poor frame. I don't know what this is. There's all kinds of tech things, pardon me. I'm getting messages. I sit here at Mission Control. I've got the cameras.
The easier life gets, the harder it gets.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, with tech.
But what I was going to say is that a lot of times I feel like if you could sprinkle, and you'd have to be careful, and it would depend on the age of the student. But if you could sprinkle in some of the stuff, because don't forget, history, we hear, what I refer to history now is the Instagram highlights. That's what we get. And even some of the ugly, but we get the Instagram highlights where if you could realize these people were human, right? And even though they may have done something historically significant and magnanimous at the time, they were still human beings. I mean, you could talk about, like, for example, we're in Black History Month, Martin Luther King, right? Martin Luther King, amazing. His letter, if anybody's ever read it, from the jail in Birmingham, I forget what the title of it was, but it's a magnificent, well-written letter. It talks about his disgust in not more the moderate white people who would go, well, listen, I hear you. I hear it. I see it. But you got to wait your time, right?
Yeah.
And it was the white church.
I too feel your pain.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying?
But.
Yes, but. And so
I need that Social Security check to come in, so you need to shut up.
He pushed and to talk about, people and the differences and the real struggles and attempting to do all this in a peaceful manner, right? In a peaceful manner. And knowing that the odds are really stacked against you and people don't want this. And you did it. So that's what we hear. But then there's also the darker side. The guy had many different women, and sure, because he was in power, he was attractive. He's a handsome guy. Women found that attractive. They wanted to be around him. He had charisma, and so there you go. But he was, a bit of a philanderer. Right?
A bit.
Wouldn't that be fun to just...
He was like the Wilt Chamberlain of civil rights leaders.
Okay, well, that maybe. Well, I'm just saying, I know, and not to disgrace somebody. That's not my point.
No, we're just talking facts here.
But would you remember that, and would it make me also help you remember the good stuff as well? And would it make the school a little more exciting if you were a senior? And you go, all right, we've talked a lot about Martin Luther King throughout your career, but here's something you may not have known.
Yeah, here's what's not on the Regents.
Well, this is but maybe it should be, is my point. Like, I was saying to Danny,
who was in Martin Luther King Jr.'s hotel room when he was assassinated?
Nobody knows. Oh, people know.
Well, people know.
I was saying to Danny, because Danny said to me, how's subbing going? I've been very open on the podcast that I have been substitute teaching, only because Jameson came, and it was for two reasons, really. One, he's eating me out of house and home, and I needed to find something that was going to be quick to get a little more money, right? Yeah, just even out the boat. And then the other is to sort of know what's happening in the school to be able to help him, because he's a guy who hasn't really been in a traditional classroom setting in about 3 years. So those two things were sort of motivating factors. And I said to Danny, I go, imagine walking in and I'm your sub. But I have to tell you, they would have me every day if I choose that. So, they at a secondary school, they wanted me there as much as they can get me, and they asked me if I would come in, and then they sent me a text this morning going, "Hey, our intermediate school, our 4th, 5th, 6th grade school, is really depleted. Just go over there." Now, I've done this once or twice before. So the problem is that it's me. And what I have is a phone that probably has 271 unread text messages. If I find my phone...
Oh, I got a text from my phone about you today saying Bill Moran is probably offline. Because I sent you a text about what time we're going to meet. No, you got back to me.
I did.
But in between my message and your message, I got a message from the messenger. No, I'm not joking. I can show you.
Okay.
Bill Moran may be offline.
290. I have 290 text messages. I'm just letting you know.
And some missed calls, too.
Yeah, I have tons of missed calls. I'm terrible at this stuff. I'm not terrible. I look at it. Here's the thing: it
terrible.
Scrolls across. I read it. I see it. I store the knowledge, and I go on with my day.
Shaq, you know how you with free throws? Billy Moran's like that with text messages.
Well,
You're terrible.
It's probably
You're terrible, Shaq, with text messages. Wait, you throw free throws.
So.
Terrible.
What they want, the school is different these days. They've got smart boards, and they don't do the morning announcements over the announcements anymore. It's actual video that they stream, that they tape like 5 minutes earlier.
Oh, my wife does those. She tapes them like the night before.
Okay, so
attention, students.
Yes. So then you got to stream it. Well, in order to do that, you have to have a computer, and in order to have the computer, you got to have a username and a password, which I was given, and I never use.
You probably got 7 billion unread emails.
I don't know. I haven't even gotten into the
Mrs.
email.
Carter's retirement party's at 2:45. Make sure you bring a dish. There will be cake and ice cream. If you are allergic, there will also be a gluten-free cake.
So fucking funny. So that's so funny.
Where were you?
Why
weren't you Mrs. Carter's retirement?
You don't even get, I don't even know. I got to tell you something. I don't know people. I don't know them. I say hi. I don't know. I don't really interact
Also,
with
if you have your permission slip, the flu shot van will be here from 1 to 3. Got to have a pass.
So I go to the intermediate school. In the secondary school, I can just, most of the kids are doing stuff. A lot of times I'm all over the place. I've been with kids that would be deemed special needs, and I've been with AP kids. I like them all. The AP kids
can't tell the difference.
Well, Yes, I get. The AP kids are fantastic, and I have like cool discussions with them. We talk music, we talk current event stuff.
What was Whitesnake like, Mr. Moran?
No, but Woodstock 99 has come up a few times, and I was there. So it's cool to talk to them. Yeah, it's just interesting. And I am not shy, so, I kind of come in. Well, I've done sixth grade before, and these classes sometimes are co-taught. So somebody's homeroom will go for English and social studies to another classroom, and her classroom will come over for math and science. Well, I substitute taught once for the English and history lady. Okay, no big deal. So this time I show up, and I'm going, the subplans are in the folder online. And I go, ugh, yeah.
I got to go online. What's my password?
Now, I was getting a little bit of anxiety about this because I go, I don't even know what I'm going to do because once I got the message, because I know I'm going to need this today. And I knew, and I should have reset it. I should have done that. I never did. So now I get there, and I get there like an hour early, which is okay. So I go in, and I talk to this other teacher, and she says to me, oh, I know who you are. You were the one who subbed for me, and the kids loved you. They thought you were great. Do they call you Mr. Mister? And I said, yes.
Carry on my way to travel the road that I must travel.
I played the song for them. And that's why they call me Mr. Mister. Yeah, because they went Mr. Because I'm so terrible at this that I don't introduce myself. The kids come in and I go, hey, and I'll ask them like, who had the longest, coldest wait at the school bus stop? So that's it. But I never introduced myself. So they go, one of the kids goes, Mr. And I go, oh, like the band from the 80s. That's good. And that's how it stuck. So when I came back in, they're all like, oh, Mr. Well, so now it's early. I got to go figure all this out. So I wind up trying to log in, and it says my stuff was dormant for so long that they discontinued.
They locked out your.
I don't know what it was. So now I got to go find the tech people. I got all this stuff. So we get it going, and in between, as I'm going down to try to figure this out, this lovely woman, a little bit older than me, stops me and says, "I can talk to you about what they did in math yesterday." She goes, I just want you to know where they are. This group is a handful. And I said, oh. I go, well, listen, I got to go figure this computer out, but I'll be back here. And when I am, we can talk. And she said, great. So I go down, get my stuff. I come back up, and the other teacher who was next door, who I'd subbed for before, she comes walking over, and this other lady, I don't know where she came from. She was like, just kind of, boom, she was there. She telebeamed in. And this woman says, yeah, I'll show you some of the things that the kids were doing. And this woman goes, I was just going to help them, show them where we were with math. And the other lady basically threw up her hands, just went, great, and walked away. So I get in there, tell me all about the math stuff and the concepts and this. And then she looks at me. She gets very serious. She says to me, this group is a handful. This may be one of the worst sixth grade classes we've ever had.
I've been teaching for 27 years.
So it turns out that lady is a retired teacher.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't know this at the time. And she had subbed with them the day before. And they gave her...
I taught through the Reagan years.
Yes, they gave her...
This was the worst.
She says to me...
Also the fattest.
The worst. So I said, I go, I've had these kids once before. I go, they were great. She goes, well, it's because you're a man. Oh. And you're tall. And I went, oh, I didn't know that had anything to do with it. And she's like, oh, yeah. She goes, they'll pay more attention. So we talked, and she's telling me, she's giving me the litany list. The kid that sits here cannot leave without having a written note from anybody. The kid over here, if he farts, you write him up. If the kid over here, if he sneezes sideways, you tell on him. Basically, I'm making a joke out of it. But it was basically a warning as to, get ready because they're coming.
Sounds like you're getting ready to do CO work in a prison.
They were fine. However,
gear up.
At one point, I'm doing a science.
Get your stick ready.
I'm doing a science thing with these kids, and we're talking, and they had just come back from lunch and recess. Do you think they're a little elevated? Absolutely, they are. They got a lot of energy.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff.
That's why they usually give you gym after lunch.
Yeah. So when it was recess, then lunch, then they're back. So now they're back. And so I got the kids, and I start going around, and then I'm like, do you understand? And we're talking about why Australia has more incidents of skin cancer than a country like Brazil. And the reason is ozone layer. There's less ozone over Australia than there is over that, and UV rays get absorbed.
That's what they get for England sending all the criminals there.
Well,
they stole the ozone.
The other, that's it. And so it's just making me laugh. So I go around, I'm high five, go, yes, and we're high fiving and all this. One kid jumps out of her chair and it slams against the wall. And the wall is one of those folding walls that you used to have in gym class. All of a sudden, the teacher from the other side comes running over and she goes, is everything okay? And I go, oh, am I too loud? She goes, no. She looks around. She goes, oh, they're engaged. She goes, well, why? And this girl goes, I got up too quick in my chair. I go, I didn't even know what happened. But I'm like, you go into anything. Take it away from just this example.
Yes.
But go into anything with a crappy attitude, you're going to have a crappy experience.
Yes.
And it goes back to everything I always say about your mind. And I just was determined to have fun with these kids. Are some of them, did I basically have to almost sit next to one kid to get him to do his work? Yes. Did I care? Absolutely not. Did the kid, I could make jokes. I mean, the kid, I think I don't know if he was embarrassed or not. This kid farted. I thought the walls turned purple. It was unbelievable. And I sat right in it for like 3 minutes helping him with a math problem.
Yeah, you're like that guy. You're like Scott Hetzko doing the weather. Oh, we got a warm front coming in through here.
It's wild. But I go, I have a different theory that I will keep my mouth shut about.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not with him every day, so I get to come in and have fun. And I always figure it this way: I'm not here to upend the apple cart. I'm not here to try to get a job. I'm just here to have a little bit of fun. I've enjoyed this way more than I thought. I still get to do the podcast, which I love more than really anything doing, and it's all kind of worked seamlessly for me, and it's been nice because I've been able to. I got a lot of expenses being a formerly unioned man. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. So, but I went, wow, they're not this way. But when you're coming in and you're expecting, I think school's hard, and I think it's especially hard, I've said it to you before, for young boys. It's hard to sit that long. Right. Like, it's hard to sit, and you got to pay attention to stuff.
Dude, it's hard to do that now.
And it's boring. It's boring. You don't want to do it when everything that you're stimulated by every video that comes out and every TikTok and everything. And now you got to sit there and you got to pretend like the ozone layer and the fact that Australia has higher rates of skin cancer. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? And yet, if you can reach them, that's why I go back to your history thing. Wouldn't it be fun to know that Andrew Jackson, they were swinging from the chandeliers and pissing on the walls. That's true.
I think a lot of teachers, when they get out of college, the ones who want to teach, okay, not the ones who got into teaching because they wanted summers off and all the perks of being a teacher, and they're like, I'll just put up with it. There's a lot of those. There's also the teachers that really want to make a difference and educate, and after about 5 or 6 years, they get so jaded.
Well, I'm sure.
I think that they just get resigned to it. It's not at all. I've lived next to teachers.
Yeah.
I'm married to a teacher.
Yes.
I've always said this. I go, you'll rarely see me wearing a jersey with a professional athlete's name on it. What we should do is wear jerseys with teachers' names on them. Because your teachers are going to have more of an impact on your life than you could ever imagine.
But the other thing is, to your point, I come in, I don't have to get you ready for your test on Friday. I don't have to make sure that you understand this material. I don't need
You're like a prostitute.
Yes, exactly what I am. You're right? I am. Yeah. I'm like, hey, I'm
paying bill to leave.
Yes, exactly. So it's just, but yes, that's hard. So now you've got that breathing down your neck.
Do you want the teacher experience?
Who knows what's going on in your own life?
Do you want the Regents experience?
Well, I'd like the AP experience. If you can give me that. All right. Danny had some, we haven't seen him since. Yes, sir.
But you asked me before the podcast.
Yes.
You asked me about, what'd you ask me about?
I said, what would you do if you walked into your classroom and I was your sub?
Oh, I would stand at attention. I'd pay respect because you look like someone who doesn't F around. Because even though I don't know you, remember? Yeah. I don't know you, but I see like, oh, he's tall and he looks pretty in good shape. You know what? I'm not going to F with this guy today.
Well, But
if the teacher's a female, we would always like screw off, and then she would lay the hammer down. We're like, okay, I'm not going to mess with her.
We had a substitute teacher. Now I got to tell you the substitute teacher story. This woman, I don't know what she did. She was old when I got there. When I say old, like she had a face that if you took a brown paper bag and wrinkled it up and then made a Muppet, you could have made her. And I couldn't remember her name, but she was delightful. And she traveled all over the world. She wore big rings and like big stones that she got from Bermuda and stuff, and she would tell you these stories. But she was old, and she had a stark white hair, and she was blind in one eye. And I had a nickname. Cyclops.
That's what I thought you were.
I used to always go, hey, we got Cyclops today. So I would always wait till I would try to get on the blind side. I would try to get on the blind side, and I would do something that would either be aimed at her or something I knew would like spark somebody else from across the room. And she would always.
She wore a patch, or she have like a glass eye?
No, she had like a glass eye, but it was like all squinted up.
Yeah.
And she would come in, her fingers were all crooked. I mean, she really looked like, and she dressed nice.
Extravagantly, yeah.
Yes, and had lots of jewelry, and would tell you about all these extravagant trips and travel she went on and all that stuff. And so, like if you didn't want to learn, you just asked her where she went. She'd give you a 45-minute dissertation on, the difference in the animals between here and Australia or whatever it is. Or the duck-billed platypus is the only mammal that lays eggs. I remember her telling us that.
Yeah, right.
So you could have that. I was an awful student to substitute teachers.
The Cyclops. Yeah.
Cyclops.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We had we had all kinds of different substitutes in Silver Creek, but then we had this one named Mrs. Garner, and Mrs. Garner lived in a location that all the buses had to go by at least once a day, maybe twice a day, right? So she'd sit on our front porch with her husband, who sat in a wheelchair and had one foot. Okay, so you knew where Mrs. Garner lived, and Mrs. Garner would try to buy the kids love.
Why?
She had a score.
She'd give him the extra sock her husband wasn't using?
She would offer prizes. Yeah. Like if you got written up less than one time, you get a mechanical pencil. 2 to 3 times you get a pencil. 3 to 5 times you get a special eraser. But she would try to like reward us for behaving.
Yeah.
It's like, where did she get all these like?
Well, they do that in the schools all.
But here's the thing: it's like, where'd you get? I mean, like, if you're substitute teaching, where do you get the money?
Disability.
Right. I guess so.
Her husband's disability.
Yeah.
They were really
see what
lucky.
this foot cost us?
This is the only family on the planet that was happy that the dryer ate a sock.
Yeah.
There's a sock in the dryer. They were okay with that.
Sock monsters.
What was I going to tell you about? The substitute. Oh, I even was awful to teachers. I had one that looked like Booger from Revenge of the Nerds. I called him Booger too. So he used to get so pissed at me. And I would never stop. I would get up and he'd go, Miss Moran, where are you going? Booger, I'll be right back. I got to go to the bathroom real bad. And I would say Booger. And then I remember once my social studies teacher, who I loved and was just like a little bit wild as a teacher, he chased me through the hallway with a giant wet paper towel, right? And I don't remember because I think I did something stupid in his class. And I went running into the cafeteria, which was also then a study hall. If you were a senior or a junior, you could eat during study hall. So they called it the Commons. So I go running into Commons, and this teacher, McNeil, is right behind me. And he fires this wet paper towel. I mean, fires it. And I duck, and it hits Booger. And Booger was flipping out. It was the greatest. It was the greatest moment. I was a hero.
It's like a made-for-TV moment.
Oh, God. It was one of those ones, Danny, you go, where were the cameras?
Yeah, right.
Where were the cameras? I want to know. We will take a moment. Dan's got thoughts. We haven't talked since the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. You've got thoughts, football thoughts.
Football thoughts, yes.
And then I have other things.
I have 77 thoughts and then a question. No,
okay.
I'm just joking.
All right. Well, we'll get to all that right after this. It's time to explore the world of legal recreational cannabis at MJ Dispensary. This is the go-to spot for top quality products and expert guidance. Whether you're looking for edibles, infused drinks, pre-rolls, or more, their knowledgeable bud tenders will help you find exactly what suits you best. Need a little extra focus and concentration? They've got something that can help that too at MJ Dispensary. Delivery is available, or you can stop by in person at 900 Jefferson Road, Suite 902. Give them a call anytime at 585-222-WEED, or visit mjdispensary585.com to learn more. MJ Dispensary, because knowledge is power. and good vibes are always in stock at MJ Dispensary. I would say my friend Sheila Tillich, who you've heard on the podcast, is a distinguished expert in energy medicine and healing. She has a Bachelor of Science in Metaphysics, certification as an integrated energy therapy master instructor, and credentials as a heart math certified mentor. She brings science-based expertise in building resilience against stress and trauma. And you can discover the power of energy medicine and how our body's electromagnetic fields influence our well-being. You can learn about this non-invasive approach of healing that enhances physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual health. Wednesday, February 5th from 1 to 2, part of the 55-plus lunchtime learning series. You'll want to catch this introduction to what many call the medicine of the future. Visit SheilaTillich.com. That's Sheila, TILLICH.com to learn more about transforming your health through energy healing. Space is limited. Reserve your spot today. You got to let go and relax, Danny. That's the word.
Let it go, like that Elsa lady.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't that movie with the cold and the frost? What is it called? Frost?
Yes, you sound like
that was a Disney movie with the two
Frozen.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yes, it was Frozen. Yes. You've seen it with your nieces.
No, I haven't seen it. I've heard about it.
You've seen it with your nieces. No.
I had to buy an Elsa toy for my niece once.
Danny, I will say that as Buffalo Bills fans, I don't believe the Bills would have been able to beat the Eagles. I think the Eagles were unstoppable. And I think Jalen Hurts, a lot of people criticize, well, they haven't been doing this all year. They bottled up Saquon, and there were more weapons. And I thought Jalen Hurts showed how good he can be.
Howie Roseman, and it took him a while to do this, and the Eagles could have lost him, and they didn't.
The general manager.
The general manager, right, is the best personnel guy in football. And you could make an argument. I don't want to make it a hyperbolic argument, but you could make an argument that he's one of the best talent evaluators ever because he's had to do it in a salary cap era, and he's had to do it with a quarterback who, while he's on I don't know if he's on a rookie deal, if he signed an extension, but the point is that it's very hard to win in today's NFL, like the Patriots did for all those years.
Yeah.
And by the way, what Kansas City's been able to do too.
Yeah.
That roster is incredible. One of my thoughts on this was a lot of Bills fans and Bills reporters and Bills radio guys are like, I think the Bills would have done better. I don't know if we would have won, but I think we would have done better. And to be honest with you, it doesn't matter because they couldn't beat the Chiefs and the Chiefs got their asses kicked. Yeah. So it's irrelevant. We could dream it, but every possible scenario that we've always dreamed of ends up getting like shellacked the year after when they have to prove that scenario. So I don't think the Bills win. I don't even think it matters at this point. But I mean, that was a bath. They gave Kansas City a bath. And by the way, I don't know if you saw Travis Kelce showing like trying to start stuff with the defensive linemen of the Eagles who weren't they're putting their hands behind their backs, not saying a word.
Right.
Like it's almost like somebody came in and coached them. Here's what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Here's what they're gonna say. Don't respond. Just get through
It felt like Kansas City wasn't as prepared. And the only thing that I would say is Patrick Mahomes, I mean, look, one of the things I enjoyed about Patrick Mahomes was he didn't stop competing. Even when in what we could say was garbage time, he threw a unbelievable ball to Worthy to get into the end zone. I mean, that was an unbelievably placed ball. So, and just showed the two of them. I love the fact that they never stopped competing. They were, they're competitors. They were going to try no matter what. Yeah, but the game was out of hand by that point.
I mean, you don't go to all those Super Bowls and play in 7 straight AFC championships without having that competitive nature and fire.
So that's the thing. And I had seen a clip. Maybe Greg sent it to you as well. I'm pretty sure this is where I saw it. Greg Connors.
I think. Yeah. Let me look.
And it was Tom Brady talking about how prepared he was to go against Kansas City when he and Kansas City met in the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, I heard this. Greg didn't send this to me, but I heard this.
Yeah.
Yes. He told Colin Cowherd Friday night before the Super Bowl, man, I'm watching film. Saturday morning, I'm watching film.
He said, I spent 2 weeks.
I knew their defense better than they knew their defense.
Exactly. And he said that was my superpower. I wasn't the most athletic guy. He goes, but I knew every time I could see it. So, it was cerebral, right? And he said,
he was the smartest guy on the field.
He goes, guys like me, Peyton Manning, and Drew Brees. Those were the names he said. He goes, that was our thing. He goes, was I the fastest? No.
None of them were.
No.
None of those three guys were the fastest. Manning may have been the tallest. None of them were super athletic.
But he basically said, I had to have an internet speed in my head.
Yes.
That's how quick. And then when you watch that game, I don't even know how the refs can actually catch a penalty because it moves so quickly.
Well, that was the thing with Belichick coach teams, is that it had to be like the military. Like in the military, you can't think. You have to just react. They train you for every possible scenario, and it's automatic. It's a reaction. And that's what he did. And that's what Belichick's teams did. But it was like you have to be ready for every possible scenario.
Mahomes, I would think, is of that ilk, I would think. But they didn't seem to know what the hell was coming at him defensively.
Patrick Mahomes said something interesting after the game. And I'm going to get to this a little later with like the legacy part. But he said, if we lose Andy, we're screwed.
Yeah.
In other words,
the coach.
The champion on the team, we've always talked about, there's always one champion. And whoever that champion, like with the Eagles, that champion is Howie Roseman.
Yeah.
He put the team together. It's not the head coach, Sirianni. It's the general manager. In Kansas City, it's Andy Reid. If you take Andy Reid out of the equation, now Mahomes has to figure it out on his own.
Right.
Or with somebody else.
Right.
That's going to be hard to do. Andy Reid is that guy. But Andy Reid, even over the years, you can ask guys like Mike Catalana who are Eagles fans over the years, he's not foolproof. No coach is. No, Belichick isn't foolproof either.
But how many years
but
did
Andy
it take
Reid was
Andy
the
Reid?
Andy Reid would put it like basically sets the table, and all Mahomes has to do is execute.
Yeah.
Tom Brady was the offensive coordinator for the New England Patriots. Whether Charlie Weiss was calling the plays, or whether Josh McDaniels was calling the plays, or Bill O'Brien was calling the plays, or when he got to Tampa Bay, when it was Bruce Arians or whomever, Tom Brady was the guy. He subscribed to that theory that John Gruden does. The quarterback is the offensive coordinator. He makes the decisions. And Patrick Mahomes, like, is a hell of an athlete and a great thrower. He's a heck of a quarterback. But when it comes to the cerebral part, he may be missing something because he didn't see anything coming in this game.
Yeah.
Nothing. And by the way,
sacked 5 times?
Yes, I think 6.
6.
The defensive coordinator for that game was Vic Fangio. I was like, yeah, watch out for Fangio. Mahomes was 8-0 against Fangio before that game. 8-0. 8-0. It's not just the scheme. It's the players. When Fangio was in Denver, Mahomes would beat him routinely. In Miami last year in the playoffs, Fangio was the defensive coordinator in that ice-cold game where Tua was like frozen. Remember, he looked like frozen fish. You know, they actually played a decent game, the Miami defense. He just didn't have the players. Now he's got the players. And when he's got the players, look out for the scheme, okay? And Mahomes had no answer. He had no second gear. He had no second, Colin Cowherd called it a second pitch. He had no second act.
Right.
The Bills even developed a second act later on against the Chiefs in that championship game. They needed a third one. They didn't have it. Mahomes didn't have a second act in that game. That's where the cerebral part comes. You can't just go to your boy Kelsey and go, just get open, I'll throw it to you. You got to be able to outthink it. And Mahomes, I'm not saying Mahomes is dumb. You can't be a dumb quarterback and go to 7 straight AFC championship games and play in 5 Super Bowls. He's a sharp dude, but he's got to take his game to that cerebral level because eventually he's not going to be able to throw those behind-the-back passes or those sideways passes. Right. Now you have to outthink your opponents. Peyton Manning in his last game, in his last Super Bowl, his arm was shot. Think about this. There was actually a discussion going into that Super Bowl whether Manning or Brock Osweiler should start the game because Manning's arm was so shot. So what did Manning do? He relied on his years of knowledge. Osweiler, played his way out of the league.
Yeah, he did. Yes,
whereas
he did.
Manning, won a Super Bowl. Why? Because he goes, I don't have the arm anymore, so I got to outsmart Sean McDermott's defense.
Right.
And he did.
So give me the Dan. I see. What do we have here? How many are there?
I had 5 points.
All right.
I had 6 points. I addressed one of them. Actually, a couple of them. The Bills being better, we'll never know.
Yep.
So it's not even worth discussing.
I hear that.
Radio guys spent hours. With the Bills, it doesn't matter. They weren't there. Shut up.
Okay.
Move on.
All right.
Number 2. There's a lot of chatter, and it's getting louder, but I don't think it's getting louder at one Bills drive, that the Bills need to acquire Myles Garrett. Look what the Eagles did with their defense. Well, here's what the Eagles did. They traded Carson Wentz, and everybody said they couldn't trade him because he was such a cap casualty. And they traded him to Indianapolis because they had a buyer. That buyer was Frank Reich. Frank Reich had coached Wentz in Philadelphia. I could work with him. So they gave up a lot. That a lot turned into all those defensive players that ended up going and winning this game.
Yeah.
The Bills would have to do the opposite. They'd have to give up 2 or 3 first-rounders, maybe a second-rounder. And so, in other words, their future first-round picks, basically admit that they can't draft players, because that's what they're admitting by doing this, and then give their future first-rounders to the Browns, a team within their conference, for a guy who's 30 years old who may make a difference? Maybe.
Yeah.
So and then you have to turn around your entire defensive philosophy, which is bend but don't break. Now you got to remember, they took the ball away more than any team in the NFL last year or this past year. That's going to drift back to the median, and they also forced fewer punts on the opposite end than any other team. So in other words, if you were going up against the Bills defense, odds are you were scoring touchdowns, kicking field goals, or turning the ball over. You weren't punting that often.
Right.
You'd have to have a shift in your defensive philosophy. It's a pipe dream to acquire Myles Garrett. If they don't do it, it's not the worst thing in the world. I wouldn't sweat it, but I wouldn't spend this much time on it. I'm like, hey, what about Max Crosby? Again,
well, we got nothing to talk
but
about.
That leads me to my third point.
What's the third point?
We have made football way too big in this country.
Yes, we have.
Because we have there's no other sports now.
It's everybody has a letdown. Well,
the NFL is secretariat.
Yes.
And then college football is like 17, 18 lengths behind in second place.
I think now.
And then baseball, and then the NBA, college basketball.
I think everybody's looking for the March Madness is the next big thing.
They are, but they're not invested.
Well,
they don't care.
They're not as invested because you don't have the kids with the school. Right now, you have Duke, which
we'll always have Duke.
Well, but they have like this phenomenal player.
Yes.
I'm forgetting the kid's
Connor
name.
Flag.
Yeah.
Is that
Flag? I think it is. They did get beat once, but who knows what they could do. Now, this kid's going to probably play for 1 year. I think he's 17.
And all the white
18.
guys are going to love him. He's white.
And then at 18, he'll be in the NBA.
Yeah.
He'll be in the NBA and probably do well. He seems to be an unbelievable athlete. But you're right. The NFL has taken over everything, and they're trying to go more global. We had games in Brazil. We'll have a game in Ireland, and maybe the Bills and Steelers in Ireland.
Possibly, yeah, because of the Roonies and the connection there. I mean, that could happen.
Yeah. What's your next point?
Well, Mahomes' legacy.
Okay. Give me this because I'm interested.
Did Patrick Mahomes' legacy take a ding yesterday?
I don't think so.
No, it didn't. Let me tell you why. If he retired today, in 3 years, I was like, imagine if Patrick Mahomes had kept playing, how many championships he would have won.
Sure.
And every quarterback who wins since, let's say he retired today, man, he's lucky Patrick Mahomes is out of the league. See, yesterday he sucked.
Yes.
Tomorrow he's the greatest again. Right. You don't go to 7 straight AFC championships and all of a sudden, well, he's got a ding on his legacy because he only won 3 out of 5 Super Bowls, and in those 2 Super Bowls, he got his ass kicked. Okay, Joe Montana got his ass kicked in conference playoff games. Many of them. We don't hear about them because they weren't in the Super Bowl. So Mahomes loses in the Super Bowl. Now his legacy took a ding. Not to mention, he's got plenty of time to catch Tom Brady.
He does.
That's the dumbest thing that came out of yesterday's discussion.
It's unfortunate, I guess, from a historical perspective, and I think as a Chiefs fan, of those who are, you wanted to see the three-peat. Never been done, right? I mean, that would have been something.
I mean, as far as historic or history is concerned, yeah.
And I kind of love that they got blown out.
I do too. I was there for all of it. Like, I'm watching this entire game and tell my wife, I'm not turning this off until the final gun.
I think
like if Philly had scored in triple digits, I still would have continued to watch.
Well, the thing is, I wasn't so much for me that you were beating Kansas City. It was just the fact that I hadn't seen Kansas City get handled like that. You just didn't see it. I mean, Patrick Mahomes was under duress.
Right.
He was basically running and scrambling for his life. They had him off his feet. He was sacked 6 times. It was bad.
But I mean, when was the last time Kansas City ever played a game that poorly?
I can't remember.
It was the Bucs Super Bowl against Brady.
Yeah. And that was where Brady said, I knew what was coming from their side. And then defensively, the Tampa Bay wasn't bad.
Right.
They had good players.
Now, here's the other thing. We mentioned Howie Roseman, the general manager of the Eagles, who built this thing, okay? They almost lost him. He was the general manager when they hired Chip Kelly, and Chip Kelly wanted total control. So Jeffrey Lurie goes, I'll split the difference. Let's give him what he wants. You stay in the organization. You don't move. I'll pay you what you're making now, but you don't leave. Yeah. If he screws up, I'll give you the keys back to the castle, and you could build this team in your image. I won't interfere.
Yeah.
Kelly sucked. Well, he did okay for a while, and then he ran out of gas. Bring Howie Roseman back in. He wins 2 Super Bowls. He beats the Patriots, the previous dynasty, and then he beats the current dynasty in the Chiefs. On the flip side, Brett Veach is all of a sudden getting criticism for not building a good Kansas City Chiefs team. Oh, he's a great general manager, but. I'm like, okay, was that your opinion at 6 o'clock or was that your opinion at 10 o'clock?
Right, sure.
Okay. And by the way,
losing sucks.
If he sucks, and this came out of Buffalo, if he sucks as a general manager, or if he's not as good, or he didn't build as good a team, what does it say about your general manager?
Right, sure.
So watch what you say, because that's an indictment of Brandon Beane as much as it is about Brett Veach.
It's fair. I think that's fair.
But these guys in Buffalo, they don't listen to the words coming out of their mouth.
Why do you get so mad at them?
Because I know every word that comes out of my mouth.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do, Billy. I speak truth here.
Okay, give me the last point.
Did I get all? We got the Fangio, we got the Veach, we got the Mahomes legacy, and Miles Garrett. I got it all.
Okay.
I got it all, Billy.
I'll ask you this.
We have a football problem in this country, though.
We do have.
Because now it's like, what do we do?
What do we do? But I feel like
I remember the days. You and I remember the days in the '90s where when Duke was number one in basketball before the season started. Christian Laettner was getting on the cover of Sports Illustrated in November, which, by the way, is the heart of football season. That's how big college basketball used to be. And then Jordan would get into it in December. That's how big the NBA used to be. And then the World Series would get on the cover. Now it's just football. Well, SI is really irrelevant. But the point is now it's all NFL, NFL. Hey, how about the draft coming up? I mean, are you serious? It's freaking February.
Well, I mean, this is what we
that's dangerous. We got to have something else to like.
Yes. And something will. The pendulum always swings.
I mean, I love baseball, but man, like today was the first day of pitchers and catchers for the Yankees. I'm like, I'm not interested.
So, Danny, I do have to ask you about the halftime show.
I didn't understand it.
Okay.
I didn't understand a single word. I heard something about Drake getting owned.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's all about.
Sure.
I saw Samuel L. Jackson. I'm like, what's in your wallet?
Yeah.
You know, I was waiting for him to like utter one of those catchphrases from his movies.
It was a lot of symbolism in there, and definitely some shots at Drake. The story was that like I didn't realize that he was accusing him of being a toucher. He's saying that he's a pedophile. He had sex with. Might be ties to Epstein Island and all this stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he has a song, Kendrick Lamar has a song that won the most Grammys for any song in the history of the Grammys, and it just did it 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
I think it's called Not Like Us.
All right.
And it's really aimed at Drake. And in there, it does say pedophile.
Oh, wow.
So Drake is suing.
Okay.
So during
that is defamation of character, but it's not true.
So
I hope it's not true.
So then you've got Samuel L. Jackson, who's in there, and he even says at one point, "Don't do it because you know you're going to get sued again." You know, all this stuff. But it was a very symbolic thing, and I thought Laura, who was on yesterday, she said I liked it a lot. She goes, "I just don't know that it was a halftime show." She goes, because it wasn't so much entertaining as it was really. If you look at it, I have to say, the more I've thought about it, the more impressed I am by Kendrick Lamar. To take that opportunity, and it was a protest, but it wasn't a protest in the sense of what I think we think. It was more about who's at the top of entertainment and what are they letting in, the gatekeepers of entertainment, right? The gatekeepers of entertainment. And I think there's a lot of things that went on. He had, it was, all black people, right? Dancers and all. And at one point they formed the American flag. And the thing that I was taken from this as I looked at, because I too did not understand some of the lyrics when he slowed down. I had said even yesterday, I have one of my favorite albums is his To Pimp a Butterfly. It's a poetic album. It can get kind of funny, a little dirty, a little everything, but it gave you a look at a life I'm not familiar with. He's a poetic guy. Mm-hmm. He may be a genius. I don't know much about Kendrick Lamar, and I feel like that's an overused term for people. But what he did was really interesting on that in that setting. And I took it as, in the end, and some of this was after digesting it and then reading some things, that this was really, I felt like a shot at the top of entertainment to say, and I've thought this for years, man. I go, some of the biggest influences on pop culture, style, speak, our language, bruh, all this stuff that kids say, all it came from black society, African Americans, black people.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So always, and you can go back through, the Rolling Stones are a band that played songs by Muddy Waters, who Muddy Waters got nothing.
Right.
Eventually he did, but he didn't get what the Stones got.
No.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, they took it. I got it. But they took it, and maybe they were more palpable, and even they were considered edgy, but to the masses. And that was sort of the stuff, because if you go back, and I haven't, and I know people go back and watch games over, if you went back and watched the halftime show again, I think Samuel L. Jackson goes, they're going to tell you you're too ghetto. You need to bring it more mainstream. And that was his point, was what happens in the ghetto is what becomes popular style. And that's almost like that. The way I was taking it, maybe I'm wrong. Again, this is opinion. You could tell me I'm high as a kite or stupid or whatever. But it's almost as though the ghetto is the training ground. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like the test ground. Like, is this going to work? And then somebody rises out of that, or somebody hears it and goes, damn, that's good. We need to use that.
Yeah.
And we steal it. And there's somebody.
Think about all the phrases of the last 10 years that you'd never heard before.
Fuck yes.
Like the phrase, you're out of pocket.
Yeah.
What? I had to look that up. You know how many phrases in acronyms I have to look up?
I once used out of pocket on purpose because I was so pissed. Like, I figured you'd be out of pocket all day.
Yeah, like, what's that mean?
Well, but you're right.
Yeah.
But how about the cool shit that we have in pop culture? A lot of it. I'm not going to say all of it, but a lot of it, because I'm sure someone will go, well, this didn't. I don't know. But a lot of it came from black society. Black culture, biggest influence, style, fashion, lyrics, music, genres, jazz, blues, rap, all of it, right? Okay. So his point with this was Drake is also a shill for the people. The gatekeepers are only letting certain entertainment through. They just want to appease you and be happy. I want to make you think, and I want to make you see it. And I said yesterday, and I don't know if people agree with this or not, but before I get to that, I want to address the Stephen A. Smith. I don't know if you saw what Stephen A. Smith said.
No, I just saw that he liked it. But Stephen A. I mean, I just saw that Stephen A. Oh, he didn't?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. He could have liked it. But at one point, as I'm watching with my son, I go, is that? No. Serena Williams?
Yeah.
And it went so quick. He goes, no. And then he goes, yeah, she's crip walking. She did a crip walk. It's a dance. Okay. Now, Stephen A. said on television that he would consider divorcing if I'm married and my wife is going to join trolling her ex. I don't know that it's ever been confirmed, but there's a rumor that in the 2000s or 2010s, Serena Williams and Drake dated.
Okay.
There was a lot of dissing of Drake, right? The song is really aimed at Drake that's won more Grammys. They made a Sony controller for a game. Sony, if you look through, owns Drake's music.
Okay.
Or that's his label or something. There's some connection. So there were a lot of these things. I think there was another thing that someone was telling me about that would go. The fact that he wore basically a Canadian tuxedo, denim on denim, was a shot at Drake being Canadian, right? He's from Toronto. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. We could go super deep on things. Maybe it was true. Maybe it wasn't. Here's what I do know about Serena Williams. Serena Williams in 2012, when she won Wimbledon, did the Crip Walk and got in trouble.
Okay.
Which is all part of Lamar's point. She's from Compton. The Crip Walk was developed in Compton.
Okay.
She did something that was distinctly black culture in a very white event and got shut down. And I think that's why he wanted her there to do the Crip Walk.
Oh, okay.
To the song. And I'm sure the either rumored or real tie to Drake by her is probably adds fuel to the fire. I'm not going to deny that. But I think it was more about the Crip Walk and the control. She won. She did a Crip Walk. Who gets they were offended. It became a big deal. And his point is, but it's all from black culture. You'll shut it down here, but now over here it's okay. You can't control things like that. And that was sort of his thing. And I said yesterday, I feel like in a way, although I'm sure many people wouldn't agree with me, could you make a comparison between Kendrick Lamar, this performance, saying our entertainment is controlled by people and they're shutting down certain things or stealing certain things and sort of controlling it. it's the same as what President Trump has come in and got. I'm getting rid of the corruption. That's basically what he said. I'm going to go in and drain the swamp. And we see all kinds of things in the news now, right? Of money that they're seeing that they feel like was misappropriated and the millions of dollars and all that. Maybe it's going to happen.
USAID.
Yeah, but do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, all that stuff. Could this be a similar thing where he's going, entertainment? Bullshit, man. You can't control it like this. You can't let certain things in or steal certain things from us.
Yeah,
I think that was what I felt like his message was.
And again, like I barely paid attention to it. I mean, I watched it. I was into my phone when this, because it's not my style of music.
Yes.
I couldn't understand it, but like I didn't like poo-poo it or anything. I really didn't. I had no
love what you just said.
I had no opinion on it.
It's not my style of music. It's not my style of music, and I'm not going to form an opinion on it.
Yeah, I have no opinion on it.
I like one album of his. I'm not super familiar with the guy. I don't even really know the song that won all these Grammys this year. I really don't.
Yeah.
So I would be a liar to say that. But I go, ooh, what's this guy doing? This is a protest. I'm watching. I go, this is a protest. But it's not a protest against America. And it's not a protest against white people, black people.
It's a protest against the bureaucracy, ladies and gentlemen.
The control.
Since you've explained it like that.
That's how I saw it.
That really kind of reminds me that, let's put it this way. Since Shannon Sharp has done a podcast,
yes, sir.
Club Shay Shay,
yes,
and he's brilliant.
Yes,
I don't always agree with what he says, but man,
and again, sometimes hard. I'm sorry, sometimes hard to understand when he gets himself worked up.
Oh, that's the best part. Yeah,
his tongue gets.
You have to slow him down. You have to wait. What did he say?
Go, Shannon. He's got some kind of speech impediment on top of, which is, again, I'm not picking.
No.
Please
we
don't understand. I'm just simply saying sometimes he's hard to understand.
But the thing is though, he started interviewing these marginalized characters or people from Hollywood, like Cat Williams, like Monique.
Yeah, well, the Cat Williams one I heard, I did not listen. My son loved it.
The Cat Williams one kind of like smashed the glass on what's really going on in pop culture. Yeah. In other words, it doesn't matter how talented you are. At some point, if you want to be let in the club,
you got it.
You got to do something. Okay. You got to sell out. And he says Kevin Hart is a guy who we've seen. When was the last time you really watched Kevin Hart and thought, man, he's really, really funny?
Sold out.
Not really. Like when you and I worked together, and Tommy, we'd have comics come in, and what do comics do? They all talk about other comics, right?
Yeah.
And they all have I'd never heard the words Kevin and Hart come out of anybody's mouth. All of a sudden in 2019, this guy's everywhere.
Well,
and the point is that, well, why is he everywhere? Why is Lady Gaga everywhere? Why is this person and this person and this person? But we're not hearing about Cat Williams. We're not hearing about all these other people because somehow they did something to get into the club.
Well,
right?
I'll tell you.
And I think that's where Kendrick Lamar may be coming from.
That is exactly it. You are so right. And what I would say is, I'm not even sure that some of these people knew they were playing the game, but they did soften their act. Or they weren't as, forgive me, but the term would be as black or as ghetto, right? Which is some of the stuff that influences the very things that most of us love. If something's happening right now in an urban center, something that we're not going to see for another couple years.
Yeah.
But now, like all the Speak and the saggy pants, all that came out of prison, these things all eventually got into the popular culture, but they all started on the backs of black people. And that was sort of what I think this was about. And I think what you just said is right, because Cat Williams would be termed edgy, but black edgy.
Yes.
So we got to be careful with that in America. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not disagreeing where Kevin may have softened himself a little bit going, hey, man, if you just, all could be as an agent just going, Kevin, drop some of the language and do this, and they're going to put you in this movie. Well, how could you not? And by the way, fame.
I think it might even be beyond that, but I know what you mean. I know what you're saying.
But fame is also addicting. So I'm not blaming Kevin Hart. I can't say Kevin Hart necessarily sold out or didn't. But I see that Cat was a little more true to who Cat was. Cat wasn't willing to change who he was. And Kevin was. And I think, but there's nothing wrong with that. There's just, to his point, one is well known in certain culture, and Kevin Hart is known more in every culture.
I want you to think about this, okay? So ever since Oprah became Oprah, we've always been looking, not we, but America, talk show audiences, they're looking for the next Oprah, right? So who was the next Oprah? Well, they tried to make it Rosie O'Donnell, right? And then that blew up. So then who did they replace her with? Ellen DeGeneres, right?
And Ellen went running for 20-something years.
She did. And then now it's trying to be Drew Barrymore or Kelly Clarkson, right? Yeah. But there's a little price you have to pay. Now, Ellen DeGeneres' set, I didn't know this, is a montage to Epstein Island.
Oh,
Dude,
Danny,
dude,
Christ.
look it up.
Danny,
Look it up. 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 My point is that why would anybody give Ellen a talk show?
Well,
why would anybody give Kelly Clarkson a talk show?
Okay.
Why would anybody? My point is that at some point you got to play by their rules if you want to get ahead. That's my point.
All right. Well,
Now it's going to sound conspiratorial, but I've seen the pictures.
Danny. I'm highly suspicious. I have not looked at this at all about the Epstein Island homage on the set of Ellen. Ellen is a very funny stand-up. She was very, very funny stand-up. She came out as gay, right? Standing in her truth, as people say.
In the 90s, yes.
And shut down. Lost the sitcom and everything. Told everybody it was okay to come out, comes out, and then gone. Comes back, gets this show, and did really well. Really, really well. Whatever went on, I have no idea. I've heard a lot of speculation. Know some people who were connected to that show. I've heard stories of her being a little tougher behind the scenes. But there's a lot of pressure. There's a tremendous amount of pressure when you're doing a daily talk show, whether it be late night or that. There just is. So should that shit run downhill? No, and it didn't with guys like Jay Leno. It seemed not to. But that's all I can tell you. I don't know much more than that. Kelly Clarkson, I don't know that these people...
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there's a possibility that when you...
They play the game.
Well, yeah, that's my point. I mean, when you think of Kelly Clarkson...
Well, think about radio. Did we not, in a way, have to dance a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I refused to do it.
Well, I tried.
And it cost me my career.
I fought back on things.
You did. You could.
Yes.
You had the cachet.
Yes. Yes.
I didn't. So,
well, no, but I don't...
but yeah,
whether or not...
no, the point is, though, is that, there's certain things that you have to play along with.
You do.
Okay?
But there were times they would come in radio and go, you've got to have this client on, and you've got to give him 20 minutes to talk about whatever boring
they used to bring the Sabres president on to talk with us for like an hour, and our audience couldn't give a flying you-know-what about Ted Black and the Sabres.
Right.
But we had to do it. We had to play the game. Okay, we'll do it.
We tried
making it entertaining.
Right. But my point is that's doing a little bit of the dance.
You do it. Yeah, but like these guys are like, sign me up for this dance. That's my point.
Yeah, you wait that money in front of me, and I might sign up for that dance too.
Oh, dude, that's a lot of temptation. I'm not saying we're not weak enough to do it.
And even my grandmother, who would always go, I know she's one of those. But I find her just so funny. That Ellen, so funny.
They have to qualify it.
Yeah. Oh, my grandmother had to qualify everything. You had to qualify everything. All right. Well,
no, I like this discussion because I think there's a lot of this. I think pop culture is dictated by.
Well, I think we're starting a
bureaucracy. It really is. Well, here's the example. I'm sorry. I don't want to keep going on belabor the point, but Beyonce won all these Grammys. She won Grammy for Best Country Album, and the story was that the Grammy Awards are all the votes are pretty much like. You vote for my people, I'll vote for yours. It's all bought, it's all paid for, and everything else. But at the end of it, and then she acts all shocked that she won the award, like she couldn't believe it. When the reality is, it's all rigged. You talk about the Kansas City Chiefs and the refs. That's nothing compared to what goes on in Hollywood. The thing is though, why do we care? They care. That's why they care.
Are we?
It's all part of one big bureaucracy. Someone is holding the puppet strings.
Okay, but here was my thing that I was starting to say. I wonder, America spoke with their votes.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if things are changing. People don't want to be controlled. They don't want the boogeyman in the sky telling them what to do.
Right.
They don't want the big brother type, and I'm using just examples that maybe this is what it is, but we want to know what's happening. We want the
transparency.
Word, exactly. The word transparency is used a lot, and I think that's it. And I think it's not just with our politics. I think it's with our entertainment. I think it's with our education. I think it's everything. I think they want, I think people, we as a society, want more transparency. And I think that's much what this last election was about.
Oh, yeah.
I really do. I feel like that was the thing. Whether you agree, disagree, whether you voted for President Trump or not, my point is at this point, he is the leader, and let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
And see, man.
All I've said is this, and I know that people will probably cringe at me for saying this. It seems like there's a certain percentage of less crazy with Trump this time.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him calling people names necessarily, although after the Super Bowl, he did go Trump, so maybe I'm wrong.
What did he do?
He just went on about, Taylor Swift, one of the worst artists in the world. And I got there were so many applause, so many.
He's always got to. He's got to do that.
But there hasn't been the name calling as much. There hasn't been,
I called Joe Biden and told him, you were at the Super Bowl. I was at the Super Bowl. I was. I had two tremendous quarterbacks. They were great. They were great. You know, Saquon Barkley's father was a boxer. He was a fighter. I'm a fighter too.
God.
I fight for the American people.
Okay. All right. We'll take a moment. Something that if your health plan had this, would you, or if, let's put it this way. Let me rephrase that. If you were up for a couple of different jobs and it came down to which benefit package is better, if this was part of the benefit package, would you go to work there? We'll get to that right after this. Winter in Western New York, more like winter warrior territory. And at Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, they don't just survive the season, they conquer it. They have a state-of-the-art service center. It's packed with certified mechanics who can handle any vehicle, any problem, and I mean any. Oil change, same-day appointment. Major repair, they've got you covered. Locally owned by people who drive the same icy roads and know exactly what a Western New York winter can do to a vehicle. So whether you need a tough new ride or expert service, they're your trusted neighbors. Need them? Call 585-673-7850 for Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Service Center. Want to check them out? Visit VictorCDJR.com. And hey, tell them Billified sent you. Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Winter doesn't stand a chance. Life throws challenges. Work injuries shouldn't steal your peace of mind. When you're hurt on the job, there's one team that fights for you. Connors and Ferris. Look, dealing with workers' compensation is complicated. Insurance companies, employers, legal paperwork. It's overwhelming. Not anymore. Call 262-COMP. That's right, just 262-COMP and let Connors and Ferris take the weight off your shoulders. They don't just handle claims. They secure your rights, your benefits, your future. They have offices across New York State, New York City, Syracuse, Rochester, and Buffalo. They're always there working for people. Stop worrying, start healing. Connors and Ferris, advocating for workers, delivering peace of mind. Call right now, 262-COMP. Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys. Well, Danny, if you had a job offer and two job offers, Company A, Company B, Company XYZ, Company ABC, I don't know. And it came down to who had the better package, would this be intriguing to you? In a surprising workplace trend, my friend, new research from Zip Health suggests that taking time off for intimacy, dubbed sex days, could enhance employee productivity, mental health, and overall job satisfaction.
Okay.
They did a survey of 800 employees and 200 managers and found that 50% of those who took a dedicated sex day reported a noticeable boost in work performance. Advocates argue that embracing sexual wellness in the workplace could reduce stress, burnout, and absenteeism. I will say
Do you have to show proof?
Well,
it's right here.
There's a lot of things with this. Younger employees, especially those in tech, healthcare, and finance, are leading the charge, with some willing to sacrifice traditional perks like free meals, paid time off, or remote work in exchange for company-sanctioned sex days. Notably, 20% of employees would even consider switching jobs, that's my point, if another employer offered this benefit. Meanwhile, the lack of such policies has led some to sneak in workplace rendezvous, with 14% admitting to having sex while on the clock or on the job.
Okay.
Currently, only 3% of companies offer sex days. But 15% of employers are open to the idea. As workplace wellness programs evolve, could sex days become a mainstream benefit? Here's my question. Should companies embrace sex days? Isn't that a personal day? Aren't you allowed like a personal day? Here's my
Is
only
this
thing.
in addition to vacation time or personal time?
Yes.
Or, I mean, like,
yeah. So
I took a sex day and decided to go to Del Lago and gamble. I went golfing on my sex day.
No, I was planning my sex day, but my wife and I got into a heated argument, and I just spent the day at Del Lago. That would be that's how that goes. But should I, as part of their wellness initiatives, should companies do this, or is this a step too far? Here's the thing that I would say: if I have to check off on my why I'm taking the day, or I have to submit, and it has to be approved. If you work for a company, they got to approve it. So unless you're really sick, you can call in that morning. But if you're looking for like a personal day, you got to have it approved so people know it's on the calendar. They get people to cover for you, all this shit. If you had to put in for a sex day, and then, if I found out that we worked together and you took a sex day, man, I am finding dolls. I'm putting them in different positions. Going, hey, did you do this? Hey, did you try this?
You making a whole
Hey, where'd
segment.
you go? Hey, why did you take a whole day when it only took 3 seconds, huh?
Dude, you and Tommy would have had a field segment.
Yes, but
On the show.
the point is, like, I think that personal days cover. I think this is all a great idea. I'm not denying it at all. The benefits of sex on your mental health and your overall health have been known for years.
Yeah.
They've talked about it.
Plus, couples talk more when they're having relations.
Yes, they do. Yes. Right.
In the sanctity of a wholesome
Try
marriage.
to strip down and get naked and have an argument.
Yeah.
Usually you soften.
Is this about the tops? Where how I arrange the dishes, boo?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's something a little more humbling about it. You feel like you
always rearrange the dishes.
A little more vulnerable. But I go a sex day. If you have to check the box for sex day, and everybody knows what the day's about, I'd be going, ooh, buddy, did you see Hot Heather took the day off? That's all it has to
Heather.
begin. Hey,
how was your 3-day? How was your 3-day 3-way?
You can't do it.
Do you have to have somebody co-sign it?
Yeah.
Yes, I had sex with
Here's the other thing. We're living in a time where you can't even do that.
Right.
You couldn't call her Hot Heather. You call her Hot Heather, you're in trouble.
Or does HR have the right to investigate your sex life?
Yeah, well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Can
you imagine like when we worked at Entercom, Lori Hoover? Okay, so if you check this box right here, if you have the sex day, okay, and I have to have Sue approve it.
Well, oh God, I would have.
Bill Moran, I heard you were having sex last night.
Sex? You heard it all the way over where you live, huh? Man, I really got it, don't I? That's what but I mean, I can't imagine most people, as much as we say, like people are cool. No, they're not. They're uncomfortable. Most people don't want that part of their lives discussed. They're uncomfortable.
Nor should it be.
Exactly.
That's a private thing.
If you want to add personal days and let people do what they want, I think taking a personal day for any number of reasons, especially reconnecting, which may lead to sex with your significant other, that's a great thing. Or if you're going to a hooker for the day, I don't need to know. If you went for a massage and then they finished you off at the whatever, that's fine. Come back, you're a little more productive, got a little, little pep in your step. All right.
Yeah, the boss is like, okay, with who? Or, like you call to check on somebody on their sex day and the wife answers like, oh, he had what? He checked on what? And then he comes home and.
What if it's like a big fat employee?
I'm picturing a few that we
okay, me too. But could you picture? I remember finding out about somebody having sex. This was years ago, but I remember I was there were these twin brothers, and they I guess they tag teamed on somebody.
Oh, I heard this story.
Yes, and they came running into the studio, one of them, and goes, man, I got to tell you. And then started talking about how bad the smell was and how they're waving their brother off. And I didn't need to know that. But under, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, there's so many.
And under HR, I think I had
hostile work environment.
Stress, hostile work environment. I couldn't even look at anybody around there anymore. I was like, you people disgust me.
Oh gosh. Or how about like when you find out the wife is pregnant? Now Bill used his sex day productively. His wife is now expecting. This is what I'm talking about. This is why we put these days in place. There are some companies that actually don't have a days off policy. In other words, as long as you do your job, they don't care how many days you take off. And a lot of companies in tech were finding out that was becoming a problem because they weren't as productive, and other companies in the same space were passing them by when they had these things called rules.
All right. Well, I'll say this. I don't know. I will say I'm going to speak for the broader spectrum of human beings. Mm-hmm. I believe that the broader spectrum of human beings, and there are those who are a little more together, can't handle that. They need structure. Mm-hmm. When you let things get loose, you start to get a little loose, right? And when you add a little structure, I have always thought places like Google or any of these tech places, right? And they have,
daycare centers, dry cleaning, doctor's
wonderful
offices.
Perks and things. That's great.
They don't want you to leave.
Okay, they don't want you to leave. But how about the places that have like beautiful cafeterias? And there were people that were coming in on their days off just to hang out because it was so great. But they have like arcades, pool rooms, all this stuff. And I come from the old school world. I got yelled at a lot, like at home, not a lot, but there was a heavy hand.
Me too.
Construction. I work construction for mostly high school stuff. I was mostly cleanup. I'm not talking about swinging a hammer, although I did, and I can. I would say like that structure was good, but if I owned the place and I walk by and you're playing pool and I go, "Hey fellas, what's going on?" We're just taking a break. We're kind of giving our brain a rest. All right, good. If I come by 45 minutes later and you're still playing fucking pool, I'm gonna lose my shit. Do you understand? And that's not right. That's not right. It's not right. It's not.
I remember when you and I worked together, there were two program directors one morning who had a strategy meeting.
They did.
In one of their offices. And they were playing Othello or Strategio or one of these games. They were playing a board game in one of them's office.
Dungeons and Dragons?
No, it was something. And the big boss walks by and goes, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" "Hey, we're strategizing." They just got done smoking weed in the car. This is like 9 a.m.
How do you know this?
Because the story got around. The boss made sure everybody heard the story that two program directors were playing a board game at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday.
Did they get fired?
In the office. One of them did. Not because of that, but because of something he said he admitted in a meeting with the morning show. The other boss asked him, he goes, "So when you listen to Kimberly and Beck, what are your thoughts?" "Well, I listen to O&A." A month later, he was gone. This is also a month after they were playing this game in the boardroom. So, I mean, or in the office.
Right.
So, I mean,
who were these people?
One of them has come on our podcast.
One of them has?
Yeah. He didn't get fired. He was our boss for a while. Midday guy.
Oh, okay.
The other guy, bald earrings.
Yeah.
Okay, he got fired.
Yeah.
He got
back there.
What?
I think he's back there.
No, he is now, but he's not in the same capacity. He was running a radio station. Now he's just doing commercials.
Okay.
I'm not knocking him. This is what happened. These are facts.
Okay.
This is what happened. But it's like I could see how it looks silly when you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing on company time. At the same time, remember when the Bills had Rex Ryan as their head coach and they put in a pool table and it's going to be cool? What happened? They sucked.
Yeah.
McDermott walks in and says, "Okay, get rid of the pool table, get rid of this.
Right.
We're a football team."
Yeah.
And all of a sudden production went up. It also helped that they drafted Josh Allen.
Yeah.
He became a good quarterback.
No, I'm not 100%. But I do think like human beings need a little more structure stuff. When you, I just think I'm speaking. Most of my experience, like I can only speak like from myself. You can only speak from yourself. Anybody else can only speak from themselves.
Yeah.
I would say that for me, I need that. I was in floundering for a while. I will tell you that even when we talked about my substitute team, add structure. Right, my day's not. It actually has helped me here. Right, and it's helped me here to see things
because you know how to manufacture your time.
Yeah, and I think that's an important piece to living. Right, you got to be able to do stuff. But I think taking a day to knock boots, call it a personal day. Don't
do that. I mean,
because when
if you could incentivize people to earn extra days off,
right? But when Fat Fran takes the day off.
Oh no! Every time somebody takes a day off,
sex box. No, Fat Fran checked the sex box. I mean, she told everybody, "I'm taking a day, baby. Me, I'm gonna get some tonight. Woo! And again tomorrow morning."
I needed 3 of them. But how many of those do you get? That's the other thing too. I mean, there's a company.
My bed's gonna look like Katrina.
Oh.
Woo, baby. There's going to be a tsunami coming out this hole.
I think you need to allow, you have to have structure, but at the same time, creative structure. In other words, allow your employees to be adults, but at the same time, give them the freedom.
Yes.
And so, in other words, there's a company I used to work for in between radio jobs. There's a debt collection agency called Conserve. They're in Fairport.
I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm sorry that I'm calling you. I could use a sex day after dealing with US.
They had great perks though, great benefits, incredible. But they let you create your own schedule if you wanted to. So if you had to work 40 hours no matter what, but you could work from like 8 to 7, 3 days a week, or 8 to 8, 12, 12, 12, and then a 4 hour, and then you're done. You know what I'm saying? You could do that if you want to. They allowed you the creativity to do that. Like a lot of people are saying, why don't we just have 4 10-hour work days a week and then 3 days on the weekend? Whether you come in on, or whether it's you work Tuesday through Friday, or you work Monday through Thursday.
Yeah.
And that'll increase productivity as long as you're able to put in the hours. When you start cutting out that extra 8 hours, now you become like Europe. And Europe's behind America in everything.
Well, okay. Yeah. But they're happier and healthier, and they live longer lives.
There's a payoff.
There's a payoff. But I would say this: I think
no one's calling Europe for help, but they call us.
Okay, all right. I call Europe for help with fashion, food, wine.
These Kendrick Lamar jeans, are they good for me?
$700 jeans, I think.
Everybody's wearing them.
I will say this: I think you have to know yourself. I think you have to know what makes you tick. I know for me that I probably not firmly diagnosed, but probably got some ADD, right? Oh, yeah. So, yeah. So
I do too.
But I love being able to work on this and then work on this and work on this. And I can go, teach, and in between when I've got downtime, I can jump on a computer and I can write a quick thing and I could put down a joke. And that's how my life has always been. But I also like working. I like that. I like to always be working. When I'm not, I really I suffer. And so I know me. I like to work. And the term 24/7 is a ridiculous statement, but I work a lot and I love it because it's my passion. So it doesn't feel like
you're
work.
A net guy, a no extra time guy.
Yeah, I guess, but I love it, right? I'll leave here. I'll put this podcast together tonight. It'll be uploaded. I do that. I'll cut up some videos. I'll get up tomorrow morning around between 5:30 and 6 and we'll start all over. And I do really, really like it. So you have to know yourself, right? And if you're a person that would rather having the 3-day weekends and, that time is really important to you to be with your family, great. But know yourself. Yes. You got to know yourself. And what makes you happy.
You got to be honest with yourself.
It's hard. It's hard because, everything is a trade-off. I've missed a lot of things because I work so much, but I like it. Did I need to work that much? Probably not.
Right.
Probably not looking back, but I loved it. So, no harm, no foul. The way I look at it.
Yeah.
When I leave, I guess everybody will have regrets, but I got a few.
Well, I've asked myself. I go if you could do it over again, would you? I go, I don't know. I don't know what I would do if I could do it over. That's my whole point, though. Because
journey don't you want to learn? We want the contrast. We want to mix it up, fucking around. Have that sex day, not sex day. Have a day to do whatever.
You go to listen. If you want me home on these days, you're gonna have to fill the sex box so I can turn it into HR and get credit for the day.
We'll take a moment, Danny.
Yes.
The New York Jets are making some demands, and then 2 stories from 315.
Oh,
we'll get to all that. Wrap it up right after this. Craving the perfect night out? I want you to look no further than Cobblestone on Main, located in the heart of Webster at 109 West Main Street. Cobblestone is your ultimate destination for a truly unforgettable evening. Warm up with their expertly crafted cocktails featuring an unrivaled wine list that'll tantalize your taste buds. Their upscale bar offers a variety of premium beers and delectable small plates that are guaranteed to impress. So, whether you're planning an intimate dinner or a fun night out with friends and family, Cobblestone on Main delivers an experience that'll keep you coming back for more. Sophisticated, delicious, memorable. Cobblestone on Main, where every moment is a celebration. New year, new projects. But why stress yourself out? Make 2025 the year you finally get it all done with the experts at Mac of All Trades. The basement you've been dreaming about. Those tricky electrical jobs, drywall work, and perfect paint finish. Leave it to the pros, my friends, who do it right the first time. From stunning kitchen renovations to beautiful bathroom makeovers, Mac of All Trades transforms your vision into reality. Need those hollow doors upgraded to gorgeous pine? They got you covered. Custom bookcases? Check. Handyman fixes? Absolutely. Full carpentry work? You bet. Whatever you can imagine, Mac of All Trades can create it. Just ask me. I love what Mac of All Trades did in our studio. Make the call that makes it happen. 585-202-9218 or visit them online at macofalltrades.net. Mac of All Trades. You dream it, they build it. 585-202-9218 at macofalltrades.net. Can't stop, won't stop, Danny. That's right, buddy.
Is this Kendrick Lamar?
No. No. I just been playing generic stuff.
Oh, okay.
There's a reason why, but we'll get to I burst out laughing because I get these alerts from TMZ. I will read you the alert. Yeah, but I just get, I don't know why, I don't know what I turned on the computer that it pops up. Like, there are times where if I turn or I'm away from my computer for a while, I'll come back and I'll get bing, bing, bing. And they come in stacks of 3. So then I delete, I close, and I get 3 more. I think there was one day there were 27, 35, 40, I don't know, alerts from TMZ. But this one that just came in, I burst out laughing. Mandy Moore.
I remember her.
Okay. Still acting.
Is she?
Yeah.
Okay.
She was in Us.
I have no idea.
Believe she was in that show Us. Mandy Moore blasts Amazon for dropping off packages at in-laws burned down home. And I fucking lost it. Like, I go, that's really funny. But then I go, what's Amazon going to do?
Right.
I mean, it's a dumb thing. Like, it's burned down. I wouldn't leave the package there because clearly I don't know when they're coming back. So I don't know. Amazon needs to come up with some policy. But if you're the Amazon driver and you're timed, I believe, on your runs and all this stuff and how efficient are we and blah, blah, you don't want to get a low score. You're like, I don't know what the fuck to do with this. So I leave it on the step. And there's nobody around.
Then you have to take a picture of it, delivered, and then they get the text message, how was your service? How would you rate your service?
And yet I get Mandy Moore's point because it seems heartless almost, right? In a way.
Heard you need help rebuilding. Here's a box.
What are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? I don't know. Because, you know what I'm saying? Unless you left a forwarding address. And who knows? You may have... would you have ordered something? Like the fire, most of the fire burned down something 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Usually Amazon, I get it the next day.
Yeah, it's pretty,
What are we talking about here?
Perks of being a Prime member.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Maybe they're not Prime members. Maybe it took that long.
Yeah, maybe they weren't.
Maybe they ordered something. I have no idea. Let me just go back.
That is funny, though.
It made me laugh.
What
because
they do?
Well, what? I mean... I don't mean to
That's my cleanup
blame
kit.
the victims or whatever. Yes, exactly. Right? I got some kind of degreaser, de-asher. I don't know.
An urn?
Yeah, an
The
urn.
remnants of your old house?
Yeah.
We had spread them over Lake Michigan.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea. The New York Jets.
Jets.
AFC East rival of the one Buffalo Bills.
I guess you could call them
I need to go back. We'll just do this quick little football thing. Are expected to part ways with Aaron Rodgers. I did not realize that the team went 12-22 with Rodgers. Now, don't forget, most of the first season he didn't play.
Mm-hmm.
But then he had a 6-12 record as a starter there. So he won 50% of the games.
He gets credit for beating the Bills.
On-field struggles aside. So Rodgers makes regular appearances on the Pat McAfee show.
Yeah.
And he's outspoken. Some of his points have become contentious at times. Some within the organization believe he contributed to the firing of head coach Robert Saleh, while his media presence and unconventional off-season habits like ayahuasca retreats only deepened the rift. Now, What? Go ahead. Laugh. I watched
I
that
remember the
thing.
New York Post headline, tossed Salah. That's not true.
I love it. Was it not?
I made that up.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I'm like, why did somebody think of that?
Yeah.
Toss Salah. Rodgers out.
The Jets allegedly gave Rodgers an ultimatum. Stay as QB, but give up the media spotlight or move on.
Meaning no appearances on Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
Maybe that's true. Ugh.
You believe that?
I think
Did his off-field persona hurt the Jets? I kind of can't.
Well, yeah, because he had a mouthpiece. He was basically giving the Jets bad PR.
More than his on-field stuff?
I mean, like when you're Rodgers, it's a package deal. It's everything.
it is.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know if this came from Woody above because Woody's like tight with
Woody Johnson.
Well, Woody's
the
a
owner.
Johnson & Johnson guy, right? That's where he made his money. Well, who had a vaccine? Johnson & Johnson. What didn't Rodgers take? A vaccine. I'm sure maybe that had something to do with it, but the fact that Rodgers said, no, I'm not giving that up, it's just Rodgers just being stubborn if that is the case. I just think that's just, it could be true. If Diana Rossini's reporting it, it probably is true.
Yeah, she is reporting.
I mean, she's been pretty on with the Jets so far, but I mean, I got to tell you, like, I think Aaron Glenn, I think the main reason Rodgers is out is because, do you remember when Chan Gailey was hired as the Bills head coach? The first move he made is says, we're not keeping T.O., he's got to go. He's not going to make our team any better. We're in a rebuild situation. I'm getting another shot at being an NFL head coach. I can't have a guy who's bigger than the team here.
Yeah.
Aaron Glenn is a guy who doesn't mess around.
Yeah,
you saw him in Detroit.
Yeah.
He built that defense when they had how many guys on injured reserve this year?
Right.
And still managed to get them to the divisional round of the playoffs. He's a guy, he's coming in. This is his first head coaching job. And by the way, when you're in the NFL, when you're a defensive-minded head coach, you don't get 2 shots like most coaches, like who coach offense. You get 1.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. That may change again in the NFL, but usually that's true.
Right. He's a no-nonsense guy, and he's dealing with an owner who's kind of who's a mixed bag.
Yeah, he is.
He can't have any distractions. Aaron Rodgers is only going to go so far. You might as well just start over.
Yeah.
See, Aaron, go get what you can get. I can't have you here. And maybe that was a way of getting Rodgers to gently say, yeah, I'm on my way out or whatever. But ultimately, it's got to be up to the team. I think it was up to Aaron Glenn. I think Woody wanted him out. This might be true, but I think that part's irrelevant. Wherever Rodgers goes, people are going to have to deal with Aaron Rodgers, the package, which is going on McAfee, which is shooting his mouth off, which is being the guy that he thought he was 10 years ago.
I thought Aaron Rodgers, and I thought the ayahuasca thing was interesting. I liked the docuseries that was done.
Still haven't seen it yet. I have to watch it.
I don't think it's terrible. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it.
I wait for the wife to go to bed before I watch a documentary.
I hope they're 180 degrees opposite of mine. I really do. Because I watched this and I went, okay, yeah, all right. But that being said, let's go to the guy that won the MVP this year, an award that Rodgers had 3 times.
I was stunned.
Yeah. Stunned that he won it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was stunned that he won it because usually, I got a whole take on the MVP thing. We get to that some other time. But, usually the guy who wins for quarterback, first team All-Pro is the guy who gets the MVP award.
Yeah.
And it felt like the writers all split the award 5 different ways.
Right. Well, okay, they did. I think it was 27 votes for Josh, 23 for Lamar.
Lamar wasn't even there at the award ceremony.
He wasn't.
So it's they kind of tipped off, okay, here's the guys who are going to win an award.
But Josh gave an unbelievable speech.
Yes, he did.
I thought that was so poised. He didn't get emotional, and he had an emotional moment talking about his parents, both who had tears streaming down their face. And you just saw what I thought was a very genuine guy who at the end said, be good, do good, God bless, go Bills. And that was it. But it was
That's
to
a
the
t-shirt.
point. It was a great speech. And you go, and that's my quarterback is something that we make fun of. That's our quarterback.
I almost tweeted that out.
Guy.
That's my quarterback. I didn't even watch the awards ceremony, and then the next day, I'm getting texts from Peter at 5 a.m. Josh won. I'm like, what? He did? Because usually the pattern is not the case, and so I was proud of him. I was happy for him, but now he's a target. Now he's an MVP, so now he's got to follow up.
Yeah.
Right. But okay, fine, whatever. We'll deal with that then.
But if we're going to compare what we just said about Rodgers to Josh Allen, we got a good deal here.
Yeah.
What a guy. And by the way,
he defied all expectations.
But the family support, the love, the balance. He's got a high-profile girlfriend.
All-American dude.
Jackson says to me, my son Jackson, who not always into sports and stuff, goes, yeah. and he's married to an Avenger. Well, she's not an Avenger yet, but I guess she plays a certain role that maybe get into the Avengers or something. Well, Jameson just came in from basketball practice. Do you know what I'm talking about?
What up, dog?
Yeah, she's an actor in one of the movies for the Avengers.
Yeah. What's the matter? What happened?
Just got hurt at practice.
All right.
They're always really irritating. They always burn really bad.
When he went down on the court? Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, it happens.
All right.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Okay.
I'm just joking.
All right.
No, Alan's. If you could, I mean this with the utmost sincerity. If you could build an athlete in a lab, it would be Josh Allen.
Yeah. That's it.
From his temperament to his athleticism,
Right.
to the way he deals with people, to the way he just carries himself.
It just
And here's the thing. You got to be careful when you put athletes on a pedestal because we've been let down collectively so many times. People thought Tiger Woods was that guy. He was the exact opposite. People thought Michael Jordan was that guy. He was the exact opposite. There's so many people.
Stuff.
But he was a douchebag.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, dude, like bad.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, though, you hope that like Rick Riley once wrote a column about Shaq. He goes, "Thank you, Shaq, for never being a douchebag."
Yeah, he was just a big, lovable guy.
Right. Always doing the right thing. And I hope that
still, to
continues.
this
And
day.
it's very hard to walk that line. And so far, he's walked that. He's the perfect quarterback for Buffalo.
Yes.
A team in a franchise in a city that needs somebody like Josh Allen. I mean, you couldn't make it in the story about what a long shot he was to be
100%.
who he is.
100%.
It's just you couldn't ask for a better story other than one more thing. Just win a Super Bowl. But I mean, that's, you know.
Yes, and I think that's coming.
Yeah,
I think that's.
I think so too.
I think that.
I think so too. But man, that was so cool. And and then this Slick Rick guy from the mailroom who's getting notoriety,
Yes.
or he's getting.
I haven't seen. I got to go look for that stuff because I know he mentioned them.
Yeah.
But I saw something come
Channel
across.
7 out of Buffalo did a special on
Good.
Slick Rick.
Good.
And he was crying. Now he's become this like internet celebrity because he's Slick Rick.
All right.
From the mailroom.
From the mailroom.
But he's like one of those guys that'd be like a side character on a sitcom.
Yeah.
Hey, Slick Rick's got your mail.
That's good.
But that was it was really cool. And I'm happy for Josh, and I hope that this continues. I mean, he's so deserving of it. And even Lamar Jackson said, and of course he would say this, that Allen deserved it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he did. I think he did.
I believe he did too.
All right. We'll close it on that note, Danny.
Looking forward to tomorrow's show already.
Well, tomorrow we'll do some of the 315 stuff we didn't get to in the next episode, and we'll talk to the king of 315.
Yes.
I'll hope that he can come on.
Well, he's got a big weekend coming up.
He does.
Hallmark movie
Yes, he
and
does.
Daytona.
That's right, baby. He's back.
Have they ever done a Hallmark movie about Daytona?
Not yet. I think we're about to write one. For Dan Barillo, I'm Bill Moran. We'll see you tomorrow.
The news was talking about a dragnet up on the interstate.